Hey, what's good, everyone? It's MJO23Dan. Alright, so in front of me, you'll see some very nice looking Air Jordans. And to tell you the truth, there are flaws with all four of them. So, of course, this right here is the OG Air Jordan 8, black and red. Michael Jordan wore this shoe in the 1993 NBA Finals up against Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns. I'll go ahead and get into the flaws in just a bit. This is the 1999 Air Jordan 4 White Cement. This is your 2001 Air Jordan 3 Retro True Blue. And this is your OG Air Jordan 16 Black and Red. MJ never wore this shoe in an NBA game. But he's worn those three. There are flaws with all four of them. And some of you might have an idea on what. The primary thing with dead stock shoes and leaving them in the box and not touching them and all that stuff is that air and trapped air and oxidation, all that stuff is going to affect these shoes. But there are fixes, so let me just go over some of them. So with the Air Jordan 8, this is a dead stock pair. You can see what's wrong with them already. Primary concern number one, cracking on the midsole. A lot of these shoes, the older shoes, were made with a polyurethane midsole. So polyurethane is bound to crack. You have older shoes, older than 10 years old, they are going to crack. How these feel, they feel soft. You can push on the midsole and it doesn't, bounce back. It kind of leaves an indentation. I don't want to mess with it too much, but let me tell you what the fixes are for this, okay? Well, back in the day, a lot of people would, get some caulk or some glue or whatever and just try and, compress it and hopefully make it so that, it doesn't crack anymore. But, you're eventually going to have like a whole separation. Okay, so nowadays they have swaps. So off a retro Air Jordan 8, you're going to completely remove the midsole and the outsole. Okay, so you have your outsole, your midsole, and your upper. So you primarily just want from that donor the midsole. Okay, so I mean nowadays with sole swaps and stuff like that, it's going to be pretty easy. Well, I mean, the task is probably not going to be easy because there is work that you need to do, but, it can be done. Same with this pair, the Air Jordan 4, you have cracking. And on this particular pair too, if you're going to rub your finger across the midsole, it will start to crumble. So, I mean, dare not to wear it. Alright. So with the I see a lot of midsole swaps on the Air Jordan 4 Retro. That can be accomplished. So probably like at the end of this video or in the description, I'll go ahead and put some contacts. If you would rather, I guess, outsource it to somebody else to do, or go ahead and do the work on your own. There's plenty of YouTube channels that do that. Particularly, there's a good one, RestoreMySneakers.com. You can follow them, and they'll give you a rundown on like how you actually break down a sneaker and stuff like that. Okay. Moving on, this is the Air Jordan 3 True Blue 2001. You may think, okay, so it looks pretty good, other than the fogged air unit in there. But you press the midsoles, and they bounce back. And you want firmness, and that's a good sign, okay? But then you get to the back, and what do you see? Cracking. There is a guy on Instagram, he does back tab restoration, and basically what he does is he completely removes the back tab of this. He creates a mold and he replaces it with this back tab here, and basically just does a transplant, and it comes out like looking fresh. So I will go ahead and put his name in the description as well. And then finally, the Air Jordan 16. This is the black red colorway. This is a recent that I had met up with someone to get something fixed, and I posted on my Instagram like a day or two ago. And this pair is pretty good. You know, it doesn't have any cracking. It doesn't have any tears, rips. The midsole's good. You know, other than like, I don't know, a little bit of yellowing on the outsole, but that's fine. But if you saw this without the gator, and I brought this into the picture, can you tell me what the difference is? It's just old, you know, like they got a lot of yellowing, and it's brittle, and don't want to mess with it anymore. But anyways, I found a local guy, and he had an extra OG pair, and it sucks with the story because when I met him up, he told me about it. But basically, his ex-girlfriend, or no, his sister, I don't know, like went into his house and stole all of his Air Jordans, and this was from an OG pair. Stole all of his Air Jordans and just left him with retro cards and lace locks, and you know, this gator, I think a Jordan 17 suitcase, and you know, just all these accessories that like were not a part of the shoe. And his sister gave it to her boyfriend. Now I don't know any further details, but I mean that's a story that he told me. But anyways, this was off a 9.5, and this is off a 10 that I wear in the Air Jordan 16, and in all my other shoes. But they're both OG. It is just slightly smaller, as you can see right there, in length, but overall it replaced the older one. But what you can do with this one, and you know, the video is getting a little bit long, but what you can do with this one is you can either keep this on there, or you can use it as a donor. So I'm not sure if you can see the difference in colors right there, but this is darker and this is lighter. So what you can do is you can unstitch this area with the plastic, or I think it's TPU, and you can restitch it back into here. But you might run into troubles because of these magnetic buttons right here. It might prove tough. So if you're not comfortable using a sewing machine, you might want to go ahead and get this professionally done, probably by a seamstress or something like that. Alright, and yeah, that's how it looks like without the plastic or TPU or whatever on there. So that's just a rundown, a video of what you guys can do to fix your Air Jordans. If you're patient and you like to collect and you like to, you know, have the older stuff, but you don't want to sacrifice, I guess, you know, getting into the newer retros, and you love the old stuff, this is something that you can do. You can do your midsole swaps and your back tab swaps and stuff like that. So anyways, I just wanted to cover that, and you know, you can enjoy your older stuff again. Just be sure that you're careful, and if you're going to submit a project like that and take it on your own, or you know, give it to somebody else, I suggest you do it with patience. Again, this is MJoe23Dan. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.